10 billion shillings. That is the amount moved irregularly through Uganda's Parliamentary Savings and Credit Cooperative Organization SACCO between July 2025 and February 2026 for dubious activities. This is not the first time the 11th Parliament, whose 5-year term has come to a close, has been embroiled in corruption scandals, transactional politics and impunity.
Can you come and apologize?
In 2024, billions more were diverted through the personal accounts of parliamentary staff close to the Speaker, reportedly under the guise of corporate social responsibility. Investigations led by Agora during an online campaign under the hashtag Uganda Parliament Exhibition also revealed that Parliament's leadership had unilaterally increased their allowances and per diem payments and passed a resolution granting the leader of the opposition and parliamentary commissioners a hefty service award of 1.7 billion Ugandan shillings.
When we saw Agora come, it reinforced what we were actually talking about. It was a timely intervention. It raised a lot of eyebrows that could not probably, one or two voices of journalists at Parliament would not have probably amplified. But the world knew, the world reacted. But it's because we were in a banana republic of sorts that we could probably not see the results we expected. But there is a lot of rot that you could not ever imagine to be in the August House.
As a result, the Speaker of Parliament was sanctioned by both the United Kingdom and the United States over corruption allegations. However, there was no accountability at home. Speaker Mong claimed that the exhibition had been orchestrated by foreign agents and homosexual activists, coming about a year after the passing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act.
This country is not thriving because of homosexuality. So she's more placed to be sanctioned than others. That is foolhardy to me, total foolhardy. Thing is, you're dirty. In that whole house, she's the most intelligent and most placed that should be sanctioned. I think we are being fooled. Thing is, it's all about corruption and integrity. If she cleans herself, she's been to Vatican for cleansing, probably would see a better person, but we can't see that.
Coming about a year after the passing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act. President Museveni agreed with her, describing those behind the campaign as enemies. Subsequently, accountability institutions such as the Office of the Auditor General and the Inspectorate of Government did not take action against those implicated. The exhibition uncovered exorbitant allowances and per diem payments, as well as a newly created budget line disguised as corporate social responsibility. Parliament's spokesperson claimed that the money was intended to address urgent issues that could not wait for the normal budgeting process. One example he gave was that the Speaker had used CSR funds to purchase solar panels for a rural hospital in northern Uganda. However, after investigations by Agora in August last year, it was discovered that many of the activities reportedly undertaken under CSR were non-existent. Even the solar panels that the spokesperson had publicly claimed had been purchased could not be found. Investigations revealed that the 4 backbench commissioners, Matthias Mpuga, Esther Afoyo-Chan, Prosi Akampurira Begumisa Mbabazi and Solomon Silwany awarded themselves 400 million shillings each last year. Shortly before the 2026 general election period, this was reportedly followed by another self-awarded package ranging between 450 million and 500 million shillings each. The payments were allegedly described internally as an election package intended to help them secure their seats. According to investigations, the arrangement was agreed upon after discussions with top parliament executives in what sources described as a spirit of comradeship. All of this occurred against the backdrop of an Easter package of 100 million shillings that had been distributed among all members of parliament meaning some commissioners received multiple separate payouts within the same period. Citizens struggling with deteriorating public services received no explanation.
There is stealing from the national budget. If you lose 100 billion, if you lose 1 trillion, that is big money that could make a difference in the lives of Ugandans. So whatever tokens we give to the people, once we don't sort out the question of accountability, would have done a very big disservice to this country.
Reliable sources say that Speaker Among channeled more than 10 billion Ugandan shillings through the Parliamentary SACCO during the election period. This follows a pattern already identified during the Parliament exhibition, in which funds were reportedly routed through the accounts of the Speaker's subordinates rather than through official parliamentary channels. The SACCO, which had already come under scrutiny over the compulsory acquisition of its 100-acre Namwabula land by the Uganda People's Defence Forces, now faces further questions about whether it has been used as a vehicle for financial flows that bypass normal accountability structures. A third strand of the new findings concerns travel budgets. Sources say that funds budgeted for the travel of MPs, commissioners and parliamentary staff meant to support parliamentary diplomacy and legislative work were redirected by the Speaker for personal use. This allegation directly mirrors what the Parliament exhibition documented in 2024, that the Speaker claimed allowances for trips she did not take while simultaneously routing funds through the accounts of subordinates. The new findings suggest that, rather than being an isolated incident, this may have been an ongoing practice throughout the life of the 11th Parliament. Parliament's official position, articulated by Director of Communications Chris Agora, is that travel is strictly regulated, with boarding passes and immigration stamps required for accountability. However, critics point out that the same institution making these claims has repeatedly failed to provide transparent public records regarding parliamentary expenditures.
Most of these bad manners, most of this impunity being exercised, they are not new by themselves. What is new is that they are being done at a higher level. The bar is being raised.
On that measure, the record is damning. The COSASE committee was blocked 3 separate times from completing investigations into Uganda Airlines, the Microfinance Support Center, and KCCA's management of the Nachivubo Channel. Leader of opposition Joel Senyonyi was repeatedly denied access to Parliamentary Commission meetings. Nation Media Group journalists were expelled from Parliament without due process.
Parliament is really a part of the cosmic picture. The entire country is that problematic. We need to deal with these issues in Parliament, but we need to deal with the issues in all the institutions in the country. It's a mess everywhere, and that's why we're talking about a total reboot.
Today, we learned that journalists reporting at Parliament arrived at the security checkpoints and were required to show their identification documents before being allowed entry. Later, we discovered that the focus was on journalists from the Nation Media Group Uganda, which includes NTV, Daily Monitor, Spark TV, KFM and other media outlets.
I understand the circumstances comes from the few coverages they've had in this house, but it's their right.
As the 11th Parliament comes to a close, the balance sheet is clear. Commissioners who awarded themselves hundreds of millions of shillings in election packages, a speaker under international sanctions for corruption for allegedly diverting travel funds meant for legislators, a parliamentary SACCO allegedly used to channel billions outside normal accountability frameworks, investigations blocked, journalists expelled, oversight undermined, actions cited in the 2024 Parliament exhibition. For many citizens, the issue is no longer just about corruption allegations, but about the apparent inability or unwillingness of accountability institutions to investigate and act decisively. As public frustration deepens, these revelations continue to fuel debate about the state of governance, institutional integrity, and the future of democratic accountability in Uganda.
Generally, as Parliament, we have not performed to the expected yardsticks that the public anticipated in as far as issues of accountability is concerned. I think when you look at the reports coming from the Auditor General, you look at the reports coming from the IGG, and even other statutory reports, reports coming from the Uganda Human Rights Commission, the Health Service Commission, Public Service Commission, which is all about the questions of accountability. This Parliament has performed dismally.
For as long as this system continues to operate, we'll have those challenges, even in the 12th and whichever Parliament. I mean, as MPs, we'll put up a spirited fight, and then they will send SFC to beat us up.
People must understand that Parliament is deteriorating by the day. And in the recorded history of Uganda, this 11th Parliament might be the worst Parliament. Because you have a speaker who thinks she is an extension of the presidency, that everything that Museveni brings, Anita Amongo prides herself in processing it very quickly, whether the rules are followed or not. Everything Museveni wants, where there is quorum to pass it, it will pass, and the speaker is very happy to do that.
Narobua, you're an amazing person. Good job. I told you all I needed was a number, and you gave me the number. I have done your work.
So you can't speak about a Parliament doing oversight when the Parliament thinks it's a Department of State House. And I think in the mentality of Anita Among, this Parliament is a Department of State House. Parliament, if the population is not careful, it will be worse.
What is happening in Parliament is something that everybody should be bothered about. Our institutions of government have all lost direction. We have succumbed to being muzzled, and we have left governance in the hands of only one man, the president.
The 12th Parliament should rise from the ashes of the 11th Parliament. They have an opportunity to rise above the pitfalls that suffered, that were beset and were suffered by the 11th Parliament.
The question now is, can the incoming 12th Parliament be trusted?